I'm interested.
Do we have our guest with us now?
Yeah, we got this sucker.
Yeah.
He's a sucker for the next week. He's my boy, but he's a sucker.
Kyle Draper is with us. Happy New Year, Drapes. How are you?
What's up, fellas? Hey, man, I'm looking forward to the NFC divisional round, not the wild card, the divisional round. I'm already 2 weeks ahead, big fella. Hey, let's keep it real. This is the worst matchup for the Niners out of the possible teams they could have matched up with. This is the worst matchup for the Niners.
I was thinking it might be the Panthers.
How How so? You got a team that this is from an anonymous NFL executive, Drapes.
Could or could not be John Lynch.
This is from The Athletic. Quote, I like the 49ers. There's less dysfunction going on, you know? I don't expect Philly to magically turn it on. And as good as Fangio and their defense is, I feel like what happened to the 49ers against Seattle was an aberration. Philly's going to have to score points, and I'm not sure they'll be able to do that. End quote. Your thoughts?
So one man's opinion, I'm supposed to be like, ooh, pack it up, go home right now. When is the game, by the way? Do you guys
Sunday 1:30.
1:30.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
check the forecast, if you will.
Yeah, I am a little worried about the weather.
Nah, actually Sunday is just cloudy and 50.
Oh, that's a smoke out. That's
Good thing they're not playing Saturday. 90% chance of rain on Saturday, and we know Brock Purdy can't deal with any drizzle or anything like that. You know why I say it's the worst matchup, fellas?
Why?
The Eagles' defense is legit, and we just saw what the Seattle defense did to this awesome Niners offense that put up 40-something points on a Swiss cheese defense in Chicago and Indianapolis. Like, come on, man. Like, there's levels to this. Jay knows it. Whitey, you know it. Listeners know it. You got a championship team versus a team hanging on by a thread. The Niners are put together with paper mache. Soon as it rains, that thing will fall apart out there.
But
so
it's not going to rain.
It's
not going to rain on Sunday. No rain.
As a matter of fact, I might see if we get some staples and paper clips.
That's right.
It should be a good game. But, I like my boys in this game. We saw what they did at Buffalo, going up into Buffalo and beating Buffalo the way they did. Obviously, this last week is a throwaway because they didn't play their starters. And so I actually like where my team is right now.
Drapes, do you think, just your opinion, do you think that the Eagles decided yesterday, okay, we're just going to rest our guys? Or was part of that, hey, we're gonna rest our guys and then we're going to end up playing San Francisco?
Honestly, I think they were afraid of potentially matching up with the Rams. That's because if I'm correct, the Rams might have still been in play, if you will. Like,
yes.
That's the one team in a wild card matchup I didn't want to face. I think when you look at the Niners,
y'all running,
and I know their defense was bend don't break, but that defense is pretty bad right now. Let's call it what it is, Jay. The defense can't get it done right now.
They don't have any linebackers. They almost literally are just pulling guys off the street to play linebacker.
Yeah. And so, the lineup, the offensive line versus the Niners defensive line. Don't let Saquon get to that second level. Who's going to make the stop? So I'm not worried about it. We could talk football all week if you want. If you want me on as a special Eagles correspondent all week, I can make some time for you.
Oh, no, we definitely need to see you Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do. We definitely need to see you Friday. You ain't doing nothing, man. Come on, man. You ain't got but another job over there anyway.
Hey, the beauty about my job with the Kings, and shout out to Kings Kingdom. Tomorrow's a nationally televised game, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
So me, Mark, and Katie don't have to work.
Yeah.
Our next working
is
Friday against Golden State. So I'm playing golf, hitting the gym. I'm gonna go see my boy Lim tomorrow. Like I'm getting my mind right for this weekend Niners Eagles.
I gotta say, Drapes, I saw you. When you guys played Boston, you didn't see me, but we were, hey, there's Drapes. I thought that was one of the highlights of the year that night, and it was before the game when the 9-year-old sang the national anthem. There's not a lot of great things going on with the Kings this year, but I'm serious. I don't know if you paid attention. The little 9-year-old girl that sang the national anthem on New Year's Day, she was incredible, Drapes. She knocked it out of the park.
No, she was amazing. And I need to holler at somebody over at the Kings because these last few games, they've had kids singing the national anthem. Last night, they had like an 11-year-old or something sing the national anthem. And these kids are doing a bang-up job. So much so, fellas, I looked up in the stands. I'm like, how these kids remembering the words? Like, do they got a teleprompter up there to help? Because I would think that stage fright would come in, But no, they're doing a bang-up job, man. I shout out to them, man. I talked to Quinn. I'm like, Quinn, you should try that out. And she gave me a look like, nope, I ain't doing that. So
no way.
No, those kids are doing great. Man.
Yeah. So the youth movement has at least started, Jay, when it comes to the national anthem singers. What do you think, Drapes, of the news today? That, first of all, Trae Young's people are working with the Hawks on a deal. And now we've got word from Mark Stein that the Wizards may be in the mix. What are you have any thoughts on that?
Well, let me say this. I actually like Trae Young as a player. I think, Trae Young is a good player. Remember, a couple of years ago, they made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, with Trae Young leading the way. With that being said, as far as the Kings are concerned, for me, as much as I like him, he doesn't fit my timeline right now. Like, we need, in my opinion, I want a 21-year-old, a 22-year-old, a 19-year-old, somebody for the next 10 years to be our guy. Not saying Trae Young is old, but to me, Trae Young is a guy that if you're close to being a contender, you get him, he puts you over the top. We bring Trae Young here, we still got a lot of holes. We talk about defense, right? Our holes defensively. So I like the player. I just don't know if the timeline for me fits what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. But looking up his deal, he's on a player option next year for almost $49 million. It's kind of, I think, and I could be completely wrong, you might be able to spin off a deal or two that may be a little difficult, a little more harder to move if you accept Trae Young, who's a distressed asset, no doubt about it. Like, for whatever reason in Atlanta, it's just not working right now. And maybe he doesn't fit their timeline as well at this point with Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels and so on and so forth. Maybe he comes here and you just have him for the rest of the year and you let him walk, compared to Zach is – same thing kind of next year. DeMar partially guaranteed. You have some bigger deals that's still around. I don't know. And if nothing else, and I know we're down at the bottom of the barrel, fellas. If nothing else, he at least brings a pinch of excitement for the rest of the season. Like, okay, I'll go see Trae. Compared to, you know what? No disrespect, Dylan Cardwell, but I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
What's his contract? Is it a player option?
He's got a player option.
This season and then a player option.
And then a player option next year.
The rest of this year and then next season, player option.
Next season is the player option?
Yeah.
And I was reading, I forget who posted it, whether it's Shams or Mark Stein. Somebody hypothesized that the Hawks would actually have to maybe attach a pick also.
Oh, man.
To get rid of Trae Young. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. Like if you're the Kings, you're not giving up all these assets for a half-year rental. If I'm going to take them off your hands, I need something else too. I need a sweetener too, to do it. So maybe that could be, the thought process if they decide to do that.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, Drapes. And, I know you're limited as to what you can say about some of these things.
Yeah.
But given that it looks like the Kings might have to add sweeteners to move some of their bigger contracts, and given that, they don't want to give up anything of value, I don't think it's out of the question that come the deadline, the roster looks pretty much like it does now. And I think some fans, if it comes to that, would have a difficult time. But I think Scott Perry's going to be opportunistic and prudent, and he's not going to get rid of anybody just to, shake things up.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Especially like you said, if you have to attach a sweetener, a pick to get rid of certain guys, I wouldn't want to do that. And honestly, I think it's probably more of a likelihood that no big deal happens at the trade deadline. But let me say this, though. At the trade deadline. But let me say this, though. Let me say this about fans, Whitey and Jay. And I know I always get in trouble going at the fans, but you got a segment of the fan base that wants the team to lose. And then when they lose, they get mad at the team for losing. You know what I mean? It's like, hold up. You wanted the team to struggle. You wanted a high draft pick. That's actually happening. And now you're yelling and criticizing Doug and the coaches and the players for losing. Like it's kind of it's from my vantage point, and I said this during post game yesterday. I feel for Doug because you could tell this stuff is eating him alive. The losing is killing him. And from a fan standpoint too, it's been a hard watch. 1 minute when we went on that 27-9 run or whatever it was, 29-7 run. 1 minute we look decent, and then the next is like we look like five guys that was just thrown together. And so I get the frustrations about that, man. And Scott Perry, you see him sitting behind the bench all the time. To be inside of his head. What is he thinking? With the trade deadline now, a month away? It's been tough, man. It's tough on the players, tough on the coaches. Like, I don't think anybody having fun right now. It's tough right now.
Drapes, and kind of let me piggyback on what you and Whitey are talking about. And Whitey was talking about, albeit the idea came from Alan Stiles, which is blew my mind right there. But the fact that there's a notion that the Kings won't do anything. And when I mean anything, and I told Whitey, I said, I truly believe that nothing major may happen, but I would expect, and hopefully it happens, that at least Scott works around the edges in some form or fashion and trims the fat in something. And I don't know if that comes in a buyout or some form of whatever. What happens if this team does nothing? Because I told Whitey, I think they revolt. Like, fans revolt if you do nothing.
I think it depends on the offseason, Jay, to be honest with you. Fans will be upset, no doubt about it. But you look at DeMar's contract, partially guaranteed next season. My thing is, if you're the Kings, you can't make a move just to appease the fans and make a move. You can't give away a guy for 10 cents on the dollar. I mean, it's and I know it's frustrating right now, but when you look at this season at 8-28 or whatever it is right now, something like that, no matter what move you make, it ain't going to help you this season anyway, Jay. You ain't going to, this ain't going what move would you make that would change and turn this thing around 180, And I know you said on the margin, something small, and that may happen, but I think fans want to see a vision for the future, man. I think they want to see which direction are we really going to. So to me, that's what they would be frustrated about if the team doesn't make a move. It's like, well, then what the hell are we? Where are we going with this? Like, we still don't know the plan, if you will. And so that to me would be the frustration. It's not about go out there and get this guy right now or go out there. It's about, and Whitey, you talked about it a couple of years ago, when you said Monty McNair should give a state of the organization, tell us the plan, and I think that's what fans want to hear.
But Drake, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Scott Perry's doing interviews, Jay.
No, but this is the difference. See, I've said repeatedly that I got nothing but love for Scott Perry because he's way more accessible and he's coming out and talking. But just as Whitey is saying, and it's no disrespect to Scott Perry because I don't expect him to tell us nothing. He ain't said nothing.
I think he is, Jay. He's saying the same thing over and over, but I think he's telling us what's
the plan on. But yes, is he telling us, okay.
He's telling us we're rebuilding. We're not taking shortcuts. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think Doug is too. I mean, listen to the word. It hasn't been manifested. We aren't seeing the moves just yet.
Yeah.
But when they talk about Kings basketball, the standards that they have, to me, that signals the guys that aren't living up to that standard, they're on their short term.
Mhm.
So I feel like he is saying something without saying something.
But I do
He's
think,
not being specific.
yeah, pardon me, Drapes. I do think if they are able to make a move, that is another great opportunity to further explain. As you
Yeah.
said, you're not going to bring in anybody that's going to turn this season around.
No.
But I think fans know that, but they would love to get, a big contract, big name out for an asset, a future asset, be it a young player or draft picks. I think they would embrace that. So they're not expecting anybody to turn around this year. If and when that happens, and we know it may not because it depends on the other team, but I think that would be a great opportunity to just, hey, here's why we made this trade, and this is what we like about it, and just to kind of further explain
Clarity.
to people, clarify where it's all going. But we'll see.
Let me ask you guys this then. Do you think if Scott doesn't make a trade, he's saying, all right, I'm happy with the roster? Like, don't you think he's trying to make moves?
Yes.
And to your point,
Yes.
Whitey, it takes two to tango.
Three to tango.
We're not just giving away guys, Jay, just to give
Yep.
away guys. And so to me, if nothing happens, that signals the offers weren't where we wanted them to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's it right there. Because Scott even said it on the show with you guys. They're on the phone. They're making calls. They're
Yep.
talking to people. And so if it doesn't get done, that means it wasn't to Scott's liking. Like the offers that we got back for whoever we're talking about wasn't what we wanted.
The tricky thing, I think, Drapes and Jay, dear listener, is for Scott Perry to try to reframe expectations. And to his credit, he tried to do it when he was on here, when we talked about, December 15th's coming. And he said, that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yeah.
But he may be damned if you do, damned if you don't. If the only way he can make a trade is to attach assets, if he does that, you don't get anything back, people are going to go, that's a terrible trade. If he doesn't do anything, people are going to say, what's wrong with him? So he's in a really difficult situation here where this may partly be about just trying to reestablish and where this all is with fans. And don't expect me, perhaps, is what he's trying to get at. You can't expect me to make a big move, that big move that's going to turn it all around in one fell swoop. It's just not there to be made right now.
Well, look at it. I mean, here we are in January 5th, and 2-3 weeks after December 15th, ain't nothing happened.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing happened league wide.
No,
Ain't nobody been moved. And so, I think, this next month around the league now, you got Trae Young and his reps trying to, orchestrate a deal. Things will start to happen. But, to your point about Scott tempering the expectations a little bit, I get it. But here's the thing, though, fellas. Here's the thing. We know Scott's a competitor. We know Doug's a competitor. It has to be eating them alive to see this team struggle. And so this is and other teams know it too. And so you don't want to make a move out of desperation, out of frustration. We've seen that happen before, right? With the organization. You still got to be mindful, prudent, as Scott likes to say, to be level-headed. You can't just be reactionary. And so I'm gonna give him this trade deadline. I want to see what the off season looks like. Because to me, I don't know if we, are still giving Scott an incomplete or to be determined or what. But the real big moves in which he'll ultimately judge by haven't come yet. This off season was sort of a stopgap. Let me just get some bodies in here, see if, what we can conjure up. In terms of building the sustainable success that he's talked about, we haven't seen those moves yet.
Where are you with Nick Clifford's game right now? We know Maxime Reynaud is, to this point, he's exceeded expectations.
Yeah.
Who knows where he's going to end up, but it's like, wow, it's been great. Nick has been a little up and down. He certainly had his moments. Where are you with the way he's playing right now?
One of the things I said the other day, about a week or so ago on a pregame show, is I'm going to see a stretch of games where Nick just scores double figures. He ain't got to go off. He ain't got to get 25, but just be a little more consistent. I'm starting to see that. It's tough for him, man. One thing I'm noticing, and I don't know if you guys have noticed it also, Nick probably needs to add some muscle. Going against a Jaylen Brown and some of these other guys, like these NBA guys look strong, physical. And so I see Nick trying to adjust to the physicality. That's why He's had some foul trouble at times. I also think, and this is just me from the eye test, he's still trying to figure out his position. This is a guy that's used to having the ball in his hands, right? Now he's playing off the ball, and so I think he's going through some rookie growing pains right now, to be honest with you. But you see some flashes at times.
Yep.
When they went on that run last night, he was on the floor. He was one of the guys out there. And I think that's why fans are clamoring for give me 25, 30, 35 minutes of Neek. Let these young boys run and play so we can see what they can do. But, I've seen flashes from Neek. Let me just say that.
Mm-hmm.
Drapes, one of the things that we've kind of talked about is and me and Whitey were having this conversation a little earlier, is the utilization of so many different starting lineups this year. It feels like I forgive me because I've forgotten track now, but at one point in time it was around 12, a dozen.
I think we're up to 18.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Mr. Draper. I'm glad you're on doing your job there, brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough to get into a habit, and this, Whitey, this, and a lot of listeners know this. When you talk to athletes, a lot of time, one of their big gripes is knowing day in, day out routine. How much time am I playing? When am I coming into the game? What trainer's rubbing on my back? What shoes am I wearing? And we just haven't been able to see that this year with the Kings. Are you how are you feeling? What's the feel around the team? Has anybody kind of, come to you and say, Drace, man, I came in the 3rd minute versus the 8th minute. Have you gotten any of that, the connotation from anybody?
Nothing like that since earlier this season, like those first 3 weeks of the season. But to your point, it's clear we know how athletes are. They're creatures of habit, right? If you're a Malik Monk and all right, at the 6th minute every day, I'm gonna come in, he gonna be ready.
Yeah.
I do feel like it's been a challenge. I mean, not just for the players, coaches. Like I said, I don't think anybody's having fun and happy right now. It's a mess right now in terms of trying to get that. And now you got Keegan Murray, who's going to be out, which looks like for some time too. Like they just can't get a sustainable unit out there. It's tough, man. I don't know what to say about the starting lineups. I was thinking earlier today, they missed Domantas Sabonis immensely. And I know if Domas played, he needs the ball and everything like that. But just for continuity's sake, can we go 2 to 3 weeks with a full roster, same starting lineup, and see what they can do? And so you know what it looks like at times, fellas. We've all played pickup ball. And we've all seen that one team that is winning 3, 4, 5 games in a row because they've been together. They figured it out. What we're looking at right now is a team that looks like, from game to game, they're being thrown together. They're not playing together. And so it's been a tough watch, man. I thought last night the comeback, I was like, all right, we got something. And then just like that, we gave it away. It's just tough sledding going right now, man. It's tough. And we on national TV tomorrow, fellas.
Yeah.
We got Dallas on national TV tomorrow with Anthony Davis back, mind you. We didn't have AD last time the Mavericks came to town. And so this will be a tough one tomorrow against Cooper Flag.
All right. We appreciate it as always. Happy New Year. Did you have anything about your New Year's celebration that you can share with us?
No, dude. Whitey, I'm a 50-year-old single father of 2, big fella.
Don't say it like that, man. You got to give some hope to the people, baby.
I'll tell you what, it was so bad. So Quinn had a party. She went to her little girlfriend's party, and the party ended at 10. I took a nap from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., woke up, went and got Quinn, came back. Nick went to bed at like 11:30. Quinn and I stayed up till about 12:02 and then went to sleep. Man.
There you go.
Those days are over, big fella.
Geez, man. Whitey didn't even raise a toast at 12. He was asleep. He was tucked in the sheets.
Yes.
Hey, man, it's amateur hour. Dog, when you've been through 50 of them like me and Whitey have, what's another year, right? Whitey?
It's a blessing, man. What do you mean what's another year?
I don't need to be watching Carson Daly or Anderson Cooper or whoever. Man, I'll tell you what. I did watch some of the festivities in turn. The TV shows, the countdown shows have gotten worse.
Yeah, they're bad. They're
terrible now, man. They're terrible. So Nah, man. And Quinn was watching Stranger Things, so nah, man, we were good.
Nice.
We
All right.
were chill. We were
Attaboy,
chill.
man.
Yeah. All right. We
Go
appreciate
game.
it. Yeah. Well,
All right, fellas.
enjoy the nationally televised game. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Rapes.
All right, talk to you guys. All right,
Yeah.
man.
Sacramento's